All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the delay there. Trying to get my brain together as we got two invites from two different people to this lobby. But tonight, I am Omster, and on the co-cast, we have Kalamansi. Welcome, Kalamansi. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, super excited to be casting Heroic Division. These two teams are really great.
Super looking forward to it. So as you can see on the graphic, Kugelblitz has banned Sky Temple and Cursed Hollow. Hat, Saika, and R, or HSR, as I'm going to refer to it from now on, has banned Volskaya Industry and Alterac Pass. First pick, the coin flip was won by the home team, which is Kugelblitz. They chose first pick, so map pick was up to HSR, and they picked Towers of Doom. Now, I've often heard this referred to as a map where you take your opponents when you know you're better than them. And looking at the standings, it looks like HSR is kind of the team to beat. They're in first, Kugelblitz is in third, and already 10 points separates them. Um, do you think that this year there's just HSR is what Inting for Globes was last year, Kala?
They're definitely a different team. So you just mean like kind of running away with it, or
Yeah.
because I don't think 18 for Globes won last year, did they? I thought it was like 9-5 or something, or potential scrim that eventually ended up winning. But Inting for Globes was in the lead for like most of the season, right? I think they were kind of running away with it.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people struggled to beat them, and even some people were like, you know, near the end of the season, some people forfeited their games with them. Um,
Yeah, it's totally understandable because Heroic Div, you get like teams of all different ranks and coordinated levels. Like, there's several people in this division that have made thousands of dollars on this game.
yeah, and you know what? I actually had a really funny experience last year where I was supposed to cast them, and their opponent forfeited like last second in the
Hmm.
playoffs, and I ended up getting another. I got asked if I would cast another match. It ended up being like a 5 game crazy like knockdown drag out insane match, and I'm so glad that the one team quit because it was nutty. So we're still waiting for a few members of HSR. I believe we have all our members of Kugelblitz here. And so when you think Towers of Doom, when it's the first map that we're playing, what are you looking for these teams to do, Kala?
Definitely looking at the roamers for one. Picking your off lane here is super critical, and knowing how to work around it. Like, for example, if you're playing something like Samuro, where you're just pushing down a structure, how can the foreman get a lot of value bought? You know what I mean? Or like Cassandra, not really a gankable hero, but you pick a different hero like Azul, not something you see very often, but you used to. Very gankable on Towers of Doom. So definitely looking at that like flex spot for like a DPS, a roamer, like even like a Medivh too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, for me, I think Leo is a really underrated pick on this map.
Mhm.
Um, excuse me. Oh, I'm gonna have to adjust my microphone after this because it's picking up, I think, your voice and doubling. But anyway,
Sure.
I think Leo is really underrated as he does what you really want on this map. He's a really strong double soaker. He can really push it, and then especially if it gets into the later game, there's a lot of heroes that can combo with that Entomb, and you could really see him doing what he's supposed to do, but still ganking, especially with the Wraith Walk. So I agree. I think
Yeah.
offlane will play an important role in this map, and of course, we always see, excuse me, the bottom lane is always a huge priority for both teams, trying to get the camps. We'll often see early invades from teams who are feeling confident,
Yeah, I mean, even if you are even leveled, just knowing that you have priority on the rotation with like your fifth member, or even just a straight 4v4, knowing that your kit is better than theirs early, or just wanting to take an equal fight, you will see them invade each other's camps unless something else has happened.
Absolutely. Oh,
I definitely like what you said about Leo. I think Leo is a very strong character, and he's got very versatile builds. So, like the Wraithwalk build, very good at damage reduction and engage. Let's say you have a light bomb, it's like so free. A light bomb is so free with somebody like Leo.
yeah, I do really like that as well. I also think he has a lot of value. I mean, like you say, it's so all three I would say of his main build post 10 are really viable. I mean, the auto attack build is better if you want to
Hmm.
split push more or if you want to put pressure on a lane opponent who is the strongest duelist. It can do a lot of work.
That's true.
But the
It has a
Wraithwalk
lot
build,
of percent damage too. The auto attack build.
yeah, absolutely. He starts chunking tanks out with his W and his autos, so there's definitely a lot
Hmm.
of opportunity to cause some big problems for tanks.
Yeah, and even if you do gank a Leo, he usually gets out. But even if he doesn't, his death timer is just so short. It kind of hardly matters. Only in the key moment where like an objective is about to come up or something does it really matter.
Yeah, he's a little bit like Muradin in that sense, where you can afford for him to take a bit more damage or like push in a little harder or even to die,
Right.
and he'll be back soon enough that if your team is able to drag out the team fight whatsoever, there's a good chance he'll be back in time for it to be decisive still.
Right, exactly. Like same thing with Muradin. You get the enemy team to use more buttons than they can afford to on somebody who can just get their health bar back. It's a win, even if you die and only you die.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, there's a lot of other great ones. Dahaka can be really, really strong on this map. I mean, if you have somebody who's a really skilled Vikings player, then the rest of their team can really play kind of like a hit squad while Vikings try to deal with capturing camps. There's a lot of ways to play this map if you have a particular strategy you want to run, and you really can make it that your opponent has to kind of deal with you. So usually in drafts for this map, I feel like you see both teams prioritizing a strategy more than counters, and
Definitely, I would say that, but I think each team has a big enough hero pool that throughout the draft, they will always be picking something that counters. It's just really interesting to see at this level, like how many different things go on and how many things can be executed in such a way.
absolutely. So we are popping into the draft now between these two teams, and it is going to be first pick over to Kugelblitz, which means they also get first ban. Now, one of the interesting things is, again, as Kala mentioned, usually both teams have such huge hero pools. Even if they have a favorite or two, it's often just most important to get rid of whatever you think will be the most damaging or more difficult issues are. I'm getting that we're not very loud, so let me turn up our deep mix sound here on the. I was adjusting my noise gate settings because OBS, since the last time I casted, OBS updated, and
Yeah, I refuse to update OBS.
I don't think I will anymore. Between OBS and scene elements, they just totally screw with my settings. So I've turned them up. If it's better, I hope that helps, Amiev. Thank you for letting me know. We will see the Blaze ban first, and Blaze is a do-it-all offlaner. I would say that he's probably about in the same tier as Hogger as an offlaner myself. Both of them just can kind of do a little bit of everything, and AoE stuns from Jet Propulsion can do a lot, and he can really delay channeling with the little fire spills. So a good rule, but the Alarak is not a common removal. Is there someone you know who plays a great Alarak, Kala?
Yes, Kugelblitz has a notable Alarak and Proteus player. Well, they have two Proteus players. Sorry, guys, don't want to forget you. But yeah, they definitely don't want to play against the Alarak. Honestly, even though his wave clear kind of sucks, as long as he has cooldowns, like he can look for picks and you can just be outnumbered the entire time. So
Nice. Genji
Um,
also removed. Obviously, they're looking to get rid of some really strong picks. And Stitches, again, post 13 especially, can be just a real pain on this map. I find Stitches to be kind of a scaling tank in the sense that early game, he can be a difference maker, but late game, he is definitely a difference maker. For the negative if he's missing, but usually at this level, late game Stitches is a huge positive difference maker and constantly forces your enemies to fight 5v4, and that's just not something they want to do on a map where
right.
resources are king. And so we will see Dahaka be the first pick. Again, excellent offlaner for giving you numbers advantages or for beating people to, if it's been a 5v5, beating people to tributes.
Yeah, there's no other offlaner that can outnumber the fight as quickly as Dahaka, unless you're like Vikings or something. So I'm kind of glad they banned the Blaze because Blaze has been picked 15 times for them this season.
That's a lot.
We see the Tyrael and the Hanzo, two really extremely strong meta picks, and these two players are really good on those heroes, so already a scary start.
And Tyrael really has two modes depending on the ultimate you pick. He can either be your hard engage, force things to stay in one spot, which you can combo with the Dragon Arrow, or he can really be a peel speed support tank, which Hanzo can also use effectively. So, really, either one can work, especially into a Nubarak. You can try to lock down that low health pool tank, or you can do your best to kind of support your team to blow him up. Now, Anduin, always an excellent healer, one of the best through pick kits in the game, and of course, a cleanse that also has a reposition is insanely strong, especially for something like a Nubarak, where if you do use your burrow charge for positioning and it goes wrong, just excellent,
Yeah.
to be able to pull someone out of the fire. Although, again, as KLA was saying in the coin flip, he goes, this is just the same as Div D, it just goes faster. Yeah, you need your Anduin to be on top of it with how fast people can die in Heroic. We will see Junkrat banned. Again, incredibly strong disruption hero. Totally makes sense. And Lucio, also a very disruptive hero. So we're seeing a lot of disruption and displacement removed from this draft. I'm seeing more engagement as opposed to stall from Kugelblitz, but so far I haven't seen a huge commitment to the strategy they want to play from HSR.
Yeah, both of these heroes they don't really say anything about the draft. However, the playstyle of Tyrael has been to do a lot of damage, go in, come out without dying, chunking the back line, be very low, using Anduin's resources very heavily. So that looks like what this will be. And then they pick Leo and Rhaegar. So I would say quite aggressive. This is probably going to be a judgment game.
Now, that Leo that we talked so much about, I'm glad we did, so, time well spent.
Yeah.
Rhaegar, one of the best burst healers in the game, especially with Ancestral Blessing. Yeah, 20. So, especially strong with a Hanzo, with a Tyrael, characters that might get targeted, giving them a quick burst of health can sometimes lead you into a strong counter engage. The Sylvanas Probius has come out, and this has just gone from a hard engage comp to kind of a sneakily good push comp. If they lose a tower, they should be able to get it back in moments if it's even like 4v4. Otherwise, if the enemy team makes a positioning mistake or loses a team fight, they're going to lose a tower. You've got Beetles, you've got Black Arrows, and Probius's push is second to none.
Yeah, I wouldn't count Probius out for the teamfight damage, though. I think they can do it. I think they can pull it off. But yeah, this looks more like a play pretty chill. If somebody's out of position, then we can look. But I mean, Rhaegar's got a cleanse, Leo has a cleanse, Tyrael can teleport. Hanzo's going to be like their main target, or Maiev if she already uses her leap. I really like this Maiev last pick into the Probius. You're going to be forcing those pulls a lot, and Anduin's probably going to have pull on cooldown for more than they would like to.
Yeah, I think having a Maiev, a skilled Maiev, is going to make a huge. It's going to make people think twice. That's really what's going to happen here. Do I have this on draft now to get it to in-game? So this is game 1. On the left, in the blue, we do have Kugelblitz. Anti-Entropy is on the Dahaka, KLA is on the Anduin, Storm Brandon is on the Anubarak, we've got Narg on the Probius, and Seer is on the Sylvanas. Would you like to introduce our red team, Kala?
Oh, absolutely. For Hat Saika and R, we've got Valimar on Rhaegar, Chaotic on Hanzo, Vince on Tyrael, Down Yours on Leo, and Saika on that Maev.
Now, I send Saika to the bottom just in case the opposing team went for a really hard Black Arrows push to set up that bottom lane, which is a great choice. Losing that wall early because you weren't preparing for that kind of cheese would have been a huge price to pay. So really good positioning. They are going to try and engage on Saikatora here in the early skirmish, but a fantastic flip there means that Saikatora will escape without even any damage taken.
Yeah, that was a really well-timed flip. Honestly, Red Team was just kind of giving that wave, knowing they wanted that control of the map, the vision of the map to see where everybody was.
Both teams still feeling really aggressive. HSR looking to kill Brandon here. He does get a good impale. That means Vince can no longer follow. And while that hasn't yet given an advantage to either team in terms of minions, we are kind of seeing a 1-1-3 with Dahaka, Probius, and Sylvanas all able to clear waves easily. But we will see Probius on the camp. They are slightly behind HSR in terms of grabbing these pumpkins.
I just saw an interesting interaction that, you may not expect if you're the Maev player. But Maev tried to follow the Sylv after she blinked, but could not get in range to auto and pull her because of the Anduin root. And I would love to see how many times Anduin gets that off and just denies Maev those really good engages.
Yeah, a really good Anduin can be surprisingly effective at delaying effective engage. A decent scatter arrow there. Takes a chunk out of Brandon, but good heals from KLA here. Taking a quick look at level 1s, it is the Spell Armor, Nerubian Armor for our Anubarak. We've got the Echo Pulse, the returning Q for our Probius. Brandon gets pulled in, he's taking a lot of damage. The Burrow Charge doesn't get very far, but Seer almost gets caught trying to body block. Narg also takes a lot of damage. Maev does kill Sylvanas, and that is first blood for HSR.
It looks like Brandon may have canceled his burrow a little bit too early, probably unintentionally, honestly. But Brandon was not the one who died. Sylvia's to those Maev resets, which are super nasty.
Yeah.
Another early cancel.
And I wonder if he's seeing lag or something. Like, kind of usually that happens if you're spamming a button because you've been stunned or something. Or maybe if he's just trying to kind of get that unstoppable for a moment. I'm not sure.
Maybe, yeah.
Looking at level 1s again, we have the Overwhelming Affliction, so the percent health damage from Sylvanas can make her surprisingly strong against tanks in the early game. There is an engagement on the Rhaegar, but Valimar is able to get away safely. We've got
that level 1 with the armor. Love that.
Yeah, we have the Power Word Shield and the Enhanced Agility. So we've got Mazda. We're not what's the word I'm looking for? We're not sponsored by Mazda. We have the Zoom Dahaka. We do have the Ossian Renewal. We've got Pursuit of Vengeance, Feral Heart. So not Totem build from this Rhaegar. It is Wolf build.
That's correct.
We do have Ardent Restoration, so Glow build, and of course Simple Geometry. The fight is getting more serious here. The Probius is getting a lot of these circles down, these phase circles. I don't know what they're called. But so far, there's not a lot of damage going on. A lot of abilities used, but not a lot of damage. It's now a 5v5. They will get the Dahaka. He's unable to escape. And that will mean that the first advantage in the 3 towers will go over to HSR.
There was an amazing pick, tongue on the Rhaegar by the Dahaka, but having Sylv and Probius is not a consistent follow-up for something that deep. So I think they might struggle if they don't get that initial blow-up off of the Anubarak engage.
Well, and their damage styles can work together, but you need to be in charge of the fight. I mean, Probius is setup first, and Sylvanas is kind of, low and slow until it's been a while, or until, like, the W really starts to spread. And Hanzo doesn't require that kind of time. It can get incredibly bursty. Narg is getting low here. He's down to a quarter health. A big heal from KLA, but now KLA's in a bad spot, having used a desperate prayer. Seer is low again, is getting jumped on by Chaotic and Mince, and Sylvanas is murdered again, putting the kill count to 3-1.
I did see Sylv walk over to that right side and just like straight 1v1 this Hanzo.
He is a low health hero, but the support they have, and again with the burst healing, you have to have that Rhaegar. A great pull on two. Narg and KLA both get pulled. Brandon is able to help his team, but because they were unable to defend the pumpkins, they will lose their entire gate.
That's a lot of early structure damage. Almost a full level lead, closer to 10s.
Full level ahead, or about 3/4 of one. They are looking to jump on Valimar here, but again, there's no follow-up. Neither Sylvanas or I kind of feel bad for the I feel Brandon's doing a really good job on the Anubarak.
Yeah, I agree.
But there's not. He doesn't really have a hero that can follow him up and do a lot of damage. And that makes
I would
it hard
argue
to be
Sylv kinda could, but maybe post 10 with Wailing or Mind Control.
Ends will come out, and they are now a level plus a tiny bit ahead, and now they're 8 shots ahead. 36-28. We do see Entomb, Warden's Cage. No, is that Warden's Cage? No, it's Containment Disc. But we do have the Ancestral Healing. It is a judgment game with the Dragon's Arrow. Out will come the disc. Brandon will burrow charge away to make sure he's not in a position to get jumped on, which means he is silenced after the disc, but he also will not be followed up on. They do not want to lose a member pre-10. That will put all of the momentum even further into HSR's hands.
Containment Disc can just get thrown out willy-nilly because it's on a 40-second CD, which is why they used it there. It's such a strong level 10.
Haka looking to see if he can get something, forced to use the burrow. Good tongue there. He gets the Tyrael. Vince is in a rough spot. He doesn't seem to have, no, there it is. Eldruin's Might goes out, and Vince is able to teleport away from all of the crowd control there. And once again, good CC, but the follow-up wasn't able to be immediately put into place.
Yeah, honestly, this was my realization that Dahaka took Paralyzing Enzymes. That's 50% anti-healing during the tongue and for 2 seconds after. So that'll be really important as far as Ancestral goes.
In terms of XP contribution, because Dahaka has been trying to give his team an advantage, there's a full 2,000 XP lead for Leo over Dahaka at this point in time, which is definitely helping the team. Now, they're going to jump onto them, but Vince, unable. That slowing gate from the Proteus does save his team's life, as well as the Cocoon on Chaotic. And honestly, there is no better target for the Cocoon on this team than the Hanzo. No one else clears it all that quickly, barring maybe Rhaegar W, but no one else really does the kind of tick-tick-tick damage that really helps them go down. They will jump hard on the Murder. Fantastic pull there from KLA. Out comes the Light Bomb as well, as the Mind Control comes out as well. The Dragon's Arrow will hit, but Seer will go down on the Sylv, and they're looking to get aggressive on the Dahaka here. Out will come the Contagion, but no, that will be the end of Dahaka as well. Sorry, the Isolation. Contagion is the name of the 21. Vince is going hard here under tower. They're looking to kill the Anduin. Good lockdown there by Brandon and KLA. They will not chase him down, but this should give them an opportunity to take the bottom tower and put themselves in a hard control of game number 1.
Yeah, I agree about the Cocoon target. Hanzo is generally the best target outside of Rhaegar, just because Rhaegar is not able to cleanse himself. But they do take this fort, and I don't know when and if they will ever get it back without being extremely behind on experience.
Now it's that lead that has changed to about a level and a half, almost 2 full levels now, actually. And that is going to make life hard on Kugelblitz. I mean, they're not playing poorly, but it feels like they're a half second behind their opponents, and in Heroic Division, a half second is enough to lose you a team fight.
Well, they also have so many tools to engage when they have Maiev, Dragon's Arrow, Judgment, just even going in with Tyrael without ult. It's like they have this ability to be in charge all of the time.
All the ultimates are available again for both teams. The Impale will hit, but now Vince does have the tower. Black arrows will come out. Seer is trying to just focus on it. Vince has a surprising amount of damage after taking the Burning Halo at level 7.
Already has 33 globes.
The altars have risen.
Yeah,
Activate
that's going to
them
give him a lot of health. Simple geometry is finished, although there aren't any stacks on pinned down for my Ev. And each side will get one shot, but that's 3 to 5 because of the bottom tower being taken. And we're seeing the scores 33 to 19. Now, this is a map where it's not over till it's over. Until
That's
one
true.
side hits 0, either side can win. But HSR is not giving Kugelblitz any breathing room. They are jumping on Vince, but the healing from Valimar is more than sufficient to keep him in a healthy position. Saika uses the Warden's Vault to stay healthy after jumping into the opposing team. And at this point, it honestly seems like they're a little shy here. They've seen how quickly things can go poorly, and it does seem like Kugelblitz is a little bit afraid. Here comes the huge engage. Great pull there from KLA to keep Narg alive. The mind control will come out. Out comes the Dragon's Arrow, but the containment disc actually anti-synergizes and keeps him safe. The light bomb will come out just for a disengage tool. Hoku saying hi to Kala at the cast. Welcome, Hoku Lele.
Hi, Hoku.
The Cocoon will go onto Rhaegar. They're going to go hard, but again, big heals coming out. Sakatoria is fine. They do get the building back, which means it's firing on Vince, but he's able to get himself out safely once again.
That's every ult use, except for the offlaners.
And no deaths. And that time, I actually think fighting backward worked pretty well for...
Yeah, it's sort of dealing with the counter.
The problem is it doesn't get them any kills. Like, it doesn't put them in a winning position, it just keeps them from going into a further losing position.
Yes.
Another mind control comes out, it just misses Chaotic by the breadth of a coat of paint. The Null Gate will come out. Vince coming in again, jumping on KLA, able to do about a quarter of his health. But again, it just seems like they want to skirmish now. They're feeling out for weaknesses. Are there any chinks in the armor? And Vince will come in again. Sierra's at about half health. Again, that Burning Halo is doing a surprising amount. Oh, the Judgment gets canceled by the Impale. Well done by Brandon. The Dragon's Arrow will come out. It will catch 2. He'll get so low, he's going to pop the light bulb, but he dies before it goes off. And that is going to force his team to back off. Seer, Narg, and Brandon do not have the health to stay in without their healer. Narg will die.
Prometheus.
A 2 for 0, and once again they will lose. They're gonna, yes, great play here by HSR. They're gonna take the bottom fort and then they're gonna channel, giving themselves that one additional shot, making it 29 to 10. And Leo is doing something that normally teams don't have enough freedom to do. Leo's taking the top camp, which is only feasible because his team is completely in control of this game. They're gonna try and hit Chaotic. He was a bit aggressive, but between the Warden's Disc and or the Containment Disc and his natural agility, he's fine.
Yeah. It's funny that Containment Disc can also be used to heal.
Good mind control into Leo, and there are other members of the team here. Seer could die trying to do this, though. The Impale comes out, but the Wraithwalk will keep down your safe.
But they actually want this fight.
The Light Bomb and the Cocoon come out. There is going to be a silence here from the isolation. KLA is taking a ton of damage. It's going to go down. It's a 5v4 as Probius is in the bottom. Entropy, is trying to stay alive with his passive, but it's not enough, and now they're going to lose this top port. So what was attempted to be a big engage from Kugelblitz ended up being a huge counter engage from HSR, and that's going to give them another fort.
Yeah, Proby stayed bot, so it was okay to look kind of near the wall, but they did see Leo run away and then run back, seeing that their team was rotating. So it was really good just map awareness, honestly, by Red Team.
Yeah, excellent work done there. The bottom fort will go back over to Kugelblitz, but Boss is taken, and that's going to make it 6 to 29. And they're pushing hard. If they can get this tower, it means they only have to get one of the 2 tributes, one of the 2 shrines here.
Yeah, not a lot of room to work with, but it's not the end of the game quite yet. They are going to be level 20, though, so it's going to make this Ultra phase really, really hard.
A moment, yeah. We do get the Buried Alive. Shadow Orb, Shadow Strike, Farseer's Blessing, Seal of Eldrins, the auto attack, not the Judgment upgrade, and the Bullseye. They're forced to fight. They're going to go in. Brandon takes a lot of damage. The Light Bomb doesn't have a chance to go off. Narg will go down as well. Nullgate comes out. Vince is able to jump past it. Anti-Entropy will come in, but he's going to go down as well. The Silence and Tomb is on Anduin. Seer trying to get away here, but she'll die. Anduin goes down. It's a 5-0, and this is the end of the game. A big GG. HSR dominates in game number 1 against Kugelblitz.
Yeah, this was pretty one-sided, being 1 kill to 15 kills. 4 structures up. They just had commands from the very start. Would you say that, you know, blue team had a harder draft to execute?
I think so, but I also think I am... Now, granted, I know he got some buffs, but I am shocked at how powerful Vince's Tyrael looked. It was a constant distraction. It was a constant problem, and it meant that Chaotic on the Hanzo and Saikatora on the Maiev got to do whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted, for as long as they wanted. I think that Tyrael was literally a linchpin for this team to be as dominant as they were.
For sure. I mean, even just a single judgment was baiting out pull and mind control at the same time, if not at a Nubrax stun as well. And like, it's not like Tyrael's gonna die instantly as soon as he comes in, so it gets so much value.
Yeah, we do see a bit of a W build here from Hanzo with some Q build buffs in there. We have just this high damage auto attack build Tyrael with the Burning Halo, the Judgment, so a hyper aggressive Tyrael that works super well for Vince. A somewhat standard Rhaegar build, and the Knives build from Maiev, which I've heard from good Maiev players is pretty standard. We do see the auto build from Leo, which I think helped him stay alive when they engaged on him. That and an absolutely top-notch Wraithwalk to go right into his team. I couldn't comment on the Proteus build.
People have their, you know, opinions. I think Proteus actually has a lot of utility in his kit. This is one of the Proteus players that plays a lot of Proteus, so I think he's a good hero. I think maybe they wanted something that played more central to his kit, if anything.
I think that was, again, I'm impressed at how... I didn't feel like blue team played poorly and they got dominated because they played poorly. I feel like their draft needed the opportunity to set up a little bit, and being on the back foot made it much easier to get messed with. And Tyrael and Maiev are heroes that love to mess with you. And so
Absolutely.
Not being able to control where their opponents were, not being able to control to use their CC to guarantee anything between the Rhaegar Cleanse, the Natural Agility, the Warden's Vaults, even the Eldruin's Might, meant that whatever CC they drafted, and it was a fair amount, it wasn't guaranteed ever, and that really put them in a tough spot to hit Proteus and Sylvanas damage consistently.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And Towers of Doom, you do want to be claiming space a lot of the time. So it can be kind of hard to set up unless you are ahead. So being behind early made it much more of a struggle.
So we are going to be invited to map number 2 here. It is going to be on D-Shire. So Dragonshire, a map, it matters a lot on this map. How you put out your resources, and both teams have shown that they're pretty good at it.
There's definitely a better Proteus map if they choose to go Proteus again. Just because you can defend a little better. You have some places, some consistent places where you're going to be fighting the other team.
So once again, first pick was chosen by Kugelblitz. So HSR did get map pick, and they chose to take us to Dragonshire. Now, it's important that everyone remember that that beast was never her husband.
Was it really not?
That's what she says. That beast was never my husband.
Oh! Yeah, I'm curious to see what will get banned here. I feel like the bans will be mostly the same. They're all target bans.
And I do wonder if we see a Tyrael ban after just how disruptive it was in game 1.
Honestly, I would totally do it.
Yeah,
just to not have to deal with it. But when you get into that light of like banning things that you don't want to deal with, you don't have enough bans for that team.
Oh, that's true. You know, with the number of heroes that have come into this game, like early on, 3 bans per side were enough, but I would almost be okay with us going the league route where there's like 5 bans and 1 ban per member, because, yeah, there are so many good heroes in the game right now. There are so many ways to define the meta, and not that you want to shut everything down, but especially at higher levels, being able to get rid of some insanely disruptive heroes. Like something we didn't see in this game that I consider the bane of my existence is Stukov. Insanely strong. Not the best on a high rotation map like Towers, but really a strong hero. We will see the Genji repeat ban. We will see the Alarak repeat ban. Will they take this up and out? Tyrael was first pick last time. Vince insta-locked it. Will we see Kugelblitz take it away, or will they stick to their guns and ban what they banned last game? And it looks like
they're thinking about it. I bet they would have wanted to deal with Blaze more than they wanted to deal with Tyrael.
They feel like Saika Torres Maev was the bigger danger, and it did have some real risks to it. It looks...
They were able to lock down the Tyrael, they just couldn't kill him. So I can see why the Maev ban was there instead.
And again, to be fair, their DPS characters were both fairly low health. Like, Probius is super frail, and Sylvanas is somewhat frail. The Probius, the respect ban on Narg's Probius.
Yeah, 2 of them play Probius, but it's better here because you can play much closer to your wall when you're fighting them for objectives, I think. And the camps are like kind of easier to get, more sneaky. They're more protected, at least the Bruiser camp.
The last game, Dahaka was the first pick. I was going to ask if you thought they would again, but they go for the Hanzo. So they take away one more tool from their opponents. Hanzo can be very strong here and is good at delaying people from getting into the Dragon Knight if you've fallen a little bit behind. Yeah, once again, Vince goes material. Why wouldn't you? It was so well played in game 1.
I mean, Hanzo's another great target for Tyrael.
You're not wrong. I mean, 3 months ago, Judgment Tyrael was a meme in lower leagues, and now it's very, very doable. The Junkrat didn't get banned, so it does get picked up here, and this is an incredibly disruptive hero for this area. In the Tribrush, he can cause problems. Around the Shrine, he can cause problems. Junkrat can really be frustrating, especially for something like a Diablo, in my opinion. Like, even with point and click, a wise Junkrat can kill that Diablo every time.
Yeah, I'm a little scared for the Diablo, but Brandon has a really great Diablo, so I want to see this interaction between Chaotic and Brandon. Because it's kind of suck going into traps, like, and your Q getting interrupted by it, or a boop.
Yeah, I think that it's possible to kill the Junkrat, but if Chaotic does a really great job, it could become a nightmare. But yeah, I look forward to Brandon's play. They get the global with the Brightwing. That will give their offlaner a little bit of relief. And so we will see Dahaka. So they're going to try and forbid the double global.
Yeah, I expect to see a global on this map, though. It might be like a false stat or something. You do see the Brightwing.
No, it's definitely going to be Hunt Illidan.
True. What other globals? We have Arcanus Laser, Phoenix, Planet Cracker.
Yeah, I think Judgment into Hunt is definitely what the HSR is known for. We'll see the Zeratul ban. Now, Zeratul can be frightening on this map.
Especially for a Hanzo.
With his ability to disappear, especially between the top and mid lane with all those different brushes, he can really kind of surprise a rotation or delay it. So Malfurion, really interesting choice. Not the same level of burst healing, but he doesn't have to be next to the character. With Junkrat being farther behind and Tyrael being farther ahead, if they set up beforehand with Malfurion, it means he doesn't have to screw up his positioning to keep his team healthy.
Yeah, and I think Valimar, this might be his most played healer, at least from what I've seen. So they're picking really strong meta picks. They're all really good at.
And last time Down Yours' Blaze was banned, they didn't want to see it, and he's very strong on Dragonshire. He can duel, he can push out, he can double soak. And again, those stuns into roots and traps and Judgment is going to be a nightmare to deal with. And it looks like Kugelblitz has put all their eggs in the global basket, and that's really a double-edged sword in the sense that if you don't use that well enough, you will just lose the game on macro.
Yeah, I am a little concerned about Kugelblitz's backline. They did pick a very squishy backline again. And Brightwing has less of a true cleanse this time, and she can get Judgment too, unless she takes like Phase Out or Blink or something.
Interesting that Seer appears to be playing the offlane Hogger, and now it's going to be anti-entropy on the Hanzo.
Yeah, I think anti-entropy is they prefer to play damage, but they can play every role.
So we are going into game number 2 between Hat Saika and R versus Kugelblitz. As a caster, I always cheer to see game number 3, but
Me too.
We're really gonna have to see a big change in how they handle engagements and how well they handle their opponents from Kugelblitz if they want to see game 3. So in the blue team, we do have Kugelblitz here in Heroic Div. KLA is on the Brightwing. Brandon is on this Diablo. Anti-Entropy is on Hanzo. Seer on the Horror. And Narg is the Dwarf on a Duck.
5.
For Hat Second we've got Valimar on that Malfurion, Down Yours on the Blaze, Psychotora on the Sylvanas, Vince on the Tyrael, again, and Chaotic on that Junkrat. It's going to be a cute build, Hanzo.
Good Sonic Arrow there. Does mean that it was going to follow Vince around.
Ooh.
Stop Vince here.
It's also a Hammering Falstad.
Yeah, so a double shield build there. We do the Hyper Shift, which is normal on the Prowl and Soul Shield. So that's probably W. That's a lot of root time on Brandon. Diablo trying to get out the phase shift. It's coming, but it's too late. And that is the end of Diablo. Seer forced to hog Wild out, but still getting chased down as once again Tyrael is such a problem. 7 hit points in the last Q proc from Sylvanas will kill the Hogger, and it's a 2-for-0. Now again, early on, a hero death is only worth about half of a minion wave, so it's not something that's impossible to get back from as long as they stay on top of something.
Yeah, and their heroes are stacking Falstad and Hanzo, so fighting is, at least early, something they want to be doing.
We once again have the Ardent Restoration, the glow build for Arterial. Again, Overwhelming Affliction. Both teams have prioritized that percent damage. We have extra wound timers, so additional damage on the last grenade for Junkrat. Adrenaline Stimback, which is pretty much the standard Blaze pick in the offlane, and Emerald Dream. So if you get caught in the vines, expect to take a nap.
I'm surprised that Red Team actually didn't invade this when Diablo showed mid. I kind of would have expected them to.
They are getting a ton of free damage onto the bottom gate, and it looks like Anti-Entropy was left in the top so he could get some stacks of his Q against Blaze. But as you can see, it's still at 0, which means he didn't get his 3 shots on Down Yours.
Oh, yeah. The Blaze went to go do the camp, which worked definitely in their favor, because Hanzo was stacking up. But look at this free wall damage.
Yeah, they're going to try and respond free wall damage here. Seer's going to take a fair amount of damage. The black arrows will come out, which will stop this camp from attacking the wall, but it doesn't stop the spell armor. Vince coming in from the flank. Great Hog Wild from Seer means he will stay alive, but the root is going to be onto Brandon, followed by the sleep. He's down to about a quarter of his health. Good healing there.
There's a solo kill by Junkrat in the bot lane.
A great 4v4 in the top, but we missed the Junkrat kill on the Incredible. And I love Falstad, but he is such a squishy hero.
He does have a hard time 1v1ing heroes.
Yeah, ranged heroes anyway. I would say with melee heroes, he can get away with it if they're not too good at movement, but yeah. That will be a free Dragon Knight. Now, Sylvanas and the Dragon Knight, I don't know if that would be my go-to, but she did already use black arrows, so her siege ability is going to be somewhat decreased. And so, but they had their choice of character. But I guess having Vince and Valimar out was more important, as they're running a 1-3-1 with the Blaze and the Junkrat. Dragon Knight is going down fairly quickly here. But most of that wall is down. Both the cannons are gone. It's just the gate, and it's at maybe 20% health.
You see Blaze hiding in the flank here. Gets a big stun.
There's a good knockback. Seer is up fairly far, but they do have their on the prowl healing to try and keep them out. Hogwild will take them out. That's the end of the gate. They're going to try and jump on Psychotori here, but a good Haunting Wave preempts the CC from Diablo.
Sylvanas was just far enough from Diablo that he had to walk in order to use an ability, or like the E.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that most vehicles will give a small pushback when people come out of them, if any of our viewers are unaware. So you usually have just a moment of safety. Brandon does find himself in a tricky spot here. The charge will let him get out, but that means Narg, once again on a squishy character in game number 2, like he was in game number 1, but this time is able to safely barrel roll out.
I mean, Tyrael just walked straight past that Diablo and said, I see chicken. I don't see you.
There's a door from the duck. Oh, that's a ton of damage onto Psychotaurus. She will die, and they do get their first kill here on the side of Kugelblitz. They kill that squishy Sylvanas, and the Dark Lady is down.
So much needed kill. They need to get a little bit of their map state back. They've lost 2.5 walls here.
I think there's a certain degree of confidence that comes from getting your first kill in a map, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, yeah, we've got this. We can do this. A good mine there is going to prevent them. They will jump back on. Vince is taking a good chunk of damage, but the healing from Valimar is... And a huge stun here from down here. That's the end of Brightwing. Brandon will also go down. He is dead, and he did not have souls. He was only at 71, so he will be dead the full length of time. Seer is able to use the Hog Wild to get away from Vince, but it is another 2 for 0. And after losing their first character in this match, HSR come back with a vengeance and will steal this giant camp.
And the Junkrat boot bought them just enough time for Sylvanas to come back too, but then everybody on blue team stood on it. Oh my.
Judgment into mind control is disgusting, and both the dwarf and the duck paid for that one.
If there are no towers, you are not safe under the fort. Even when there are towers, you are not safe under the fort.
Brandon managed to barely dodge that set of roots, but the fort is down. And they've managed to capture both the Shrine of the Sun and the Shrine of the Moon. And they're going to engage here as well because...
oh my gosh.
The roots means Brandon can't get back in. He is staying alive for now, but there's not much chance to get in. Here comes a perfect phase shift, manages to keep Brandon alive just in time. The Dragon Arrow will whiff, and it will hit some poor gardener doing his lawn in Alliance territory.
Brandon showed so much patience there, not walking on the trap, but like also trying to kind of bait the boop. Like, the Z was really well timed though. They are going to get the dragon.
And because Black Arrows is available, they will put Blaze in the Dragon Knight this time, and they're going to aggressively come after the 80% health. And there's Black Arrows right there. Brandon will be kicked away with their engage gone. Everyone's going to be way more careful. Narg forced the barrel roll away, and Judgment is back up, so they need to be aware. Anybody could die here. Hog Wild goes off. Seer already taken down to about 60% health. Good stun, but that is their second fort down. And once again, HSR is looking dominant in game number 2.
That was an amazing bait on the Judgment by the Hogger.
A good phase shift onto Brandon by KLA, and the blink healing keeping entry life. The gust means that the team gets forced back, and for now, no one is dead on Kugelblitz. There is the boot onto Seer. Brandon pushing Vince back. The bomb manages to save Brandon as opposed to put him in a bad position. Dragon Knight is dead, but that's a fort, and about half of the main gate for the middle keep, as Chaotic uses a mine to boot himself to safety, and Brandon has to pry a bear trap off of Diablo's foot.
Yeah, that was a really good oil spill by the Blaze also to make sure that Diablo couldn't get in range to combo the Junkrat while he was setting up his boot. We did see Dragon's Arrow used in that last bit too. Lightning Breath, so they don't have a lot of ults on the blue side, but neither does Red Team.
They go aggressively on Vince here. The polymorph means he doesn't get away with Eldruin's might. Takes a ton of damage. He does finally get away, and the nap time roots will keep Brandon from following up. Seer's getting low, but the phase shift will come out and keep Hogger alive for now. Vince is at about half, so he cannot be as aggressive as he's been in the past. This is a breath of fresh air. Vince will get shoved into the team. I don't think he knew Brandon was beneath him. Narg caught in the nap roots, and here comes the Judgment. They're going to jump onto the Falstad. He does barrel roll over the fence and stay alive for now. I do think a big part of his staying alive was also the spell shield from this minion camp. I think he's dead. Here comes this sneaky Riptire. It hits Narg, but it's not enough to
Another thing that got interrupted was the Blaze stun actually by the loot horde. That was awesome.
Some absolutely fantastic mechanical play here. Narg getting jumped on again by Vince, and he can just so safely leap in, be annoying, and leap right back out.
During that team fight, Junkrat was splitting bot lane and some mid, so they got a little bit of an EXP and structure lead in that way.
And yeah, we see here that Blaze and Junkrat are actually very close in experience in this game. Hogger is high, but like Fallside has not been able to answer the amount of experience, and yeah, it does put them about a level and a half ahead. They're considering the invade here. They do have the mine on the camp, but they think again on that one. They don't want to give away the lead that they made. And I think that's another hallmark we're seeing from HSR. If they don't have an opportunity for a good position, they're not afraid to wait until it gets better for them. Big Gust comes out, but unfortunately that is another ultimate used just to prevent a death on this Diablo.
I'm surprised Mind Control did not come out there. I was really expecting it, but Gust did, which also surprised me.
Vince able to teleport back to Eldruin's Might. Or to Eldruin, his fabled blade.
Ooh, good dodge on the Blaze, juking them in the bush.
It does mean they're forced to once again give away the Dragon Knight, and there's absolutely zero reason for them to go into the top lane with this. Nobody wants to siege down the Death Bridge. So we're going to see them possibly support the siege camp in the bot lane, although it's equally viable if they push mid and let that siege camp do its work. Vince will take a lot of damage. Once again, he can just jump out with Eldruin's Might. A highly mobile tank. Normally, Tyrael's kind of been in a tough spot in the past because he just didn't have the health or the damage for that mobility to matter. But here, a good Lightning Breath means that for the moment, Diablo is still alive, but he is killed. This time, he did have the soul, so he will be back right now. The Dragon Knight is going to boot Hogger up into northern Canada over there. As we see the Riptire come out as well. Bottom keep will be going down. Vince jumps in, just jumps back out. And
I mean, Vince is unkillable right now, and it feels awful to watch Diablo combo Vince repeatedly, and Tyrael's health still be high.
Here's the Hortipole coming out, trying to find himself a better position. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't reban this Tyrael. It has been a nightmare. Maiev was good in the last game, but this Tyrael has just been unstoppable. There's just nothing they can do, and it's got to feel just rotten. There is going to be some pushback here. The keep is, or the core is letting them be able. And the Ender, he just gets jumped on by Vince, and then he leaves.
That's the new Tyrael. Watch your backline die for free.
2 games in a row, they've drafted some very squishy backliners, like you mentioned in draft. There's the jump onto Narg, and Vince can just stay there as long as he wants if he decides that it's too tough of a position. Black arrows will come out as well.
Black arrows, yeah.
He doesn't have to worry at all the support on this team, and Brandon goes down to 300 hit points. But Vince decides that he will be merciful today. The mind control means Hogger will die.
I wonder who the last hero is for Hanzo. Do you think it's Malfurion?
Good question. We check it in the talents. Will it tell us? Oh,
I'm trying. Oh yeah, it is Malfurion.
Oh, okay. Brandon, they're managing to lock down. They've kind of started ignoring Vince here. They can't really do anything about him. They're trying to kill the Blaze here. But, again, without those souls, he's only got 70. Brandon's quite a bit squishier without full souls. Forced to back off. Bunker comes down, and they're just doing a slow siege here to break down. There is a catapult in the bottom. It is getting hit by melee minions, but they're doing slow work. Core is down to 70%, 60%. Hortipole comes out. They're going to try and get a major defense here. Is it going to work, Kala?
Hanzo! No! Hanzo.
Yeah,
as long as Tyrael has mana, the fight is not over.
That is the end of Hogger as well, and this has been a clinic by HSR on how to ruin people's lives with the Angel of Justice.
Pretty much. The Ban Tyrael clinic.
Absolutely stonking series in terms of how powerful HSR was. Unfortunately, it wasn't a close or even series, and again, I can't even say, like, this is what I would do or that is what I would do from Kugelblitz's perspective. I think they picked some good strategies and some good heroes, but HSR looks absolutely... They're just a wrecking ball right now.
Yeah, it's honestly... it's hard watching them win so many games in a row for the rest of the division, myself included.
So we'll
it's cool to
see
see
if
this kind of things they can do, though.
if there's an opportunity to I won't let him talk to Vince. That's lame. I'll just have to send a message to
the channel, yeah.
Yeah, in Discord. We'll see if we cannot get someone to let us do a interview with. If we can just find Vince here. Pretend I'm saying something interesting, chat. A hard time finding our guy.
How do you feel about Dragonshire as a map?
Personally, I hate it. I think that one. I feel like the two maps we saw today are the chess maps, where it's all about having your pieces in the right position and being aware that, like, you're probably gonna kick someone's ass. If you can play better, they just feel very tactical.
Right. Where it's like, if you get the leg up, it's really hard to come back. It's not impossible, but it's pretty hard. Yeah, they died only once in both games. That's insane.
I've sent a message to Valkamar, so we'll see if they can join us. We will hop into a lobby. I don't know, lobby 2, I guess, in NGS, sure. And we'll see if we can get some people to join us. Whew. So yeah, really, really strong performances there from HSR, and they do look like they will be the team this season.
I mean, Kugelblitz is a strong team too, and the way things are going, they're both going to be in the playoffs, so it'll be cool to see how they evolve to the strategies. So long as there aren't any other crazy patches between now and then.
I do have to say, as a person who does enjoy Here's the Storm, it's nice that they're putting effort into keeping this game alive and not just leaving it as a real stale metagame, so that's really nice.
Right. I am curious though if they pay attention at all to NGS. Would be interesting if they drop all of the map patches during the NGS season and seeing how that affects anything. Because they're changing some of the maps, right? But I forget if those maps are in the pool. I know they're doing something with black hearts for sure.
Oh yeah, that one has needed a a revamp for a little while.
I don't really like Dragonshire either, but it's in the middle for me for sure. I am surprised at the Cursed Hollow ban. I feel like that's a pretty neutral map unless you don't like playing against globals, but I feel like globals appear everywhere.
I wonder, for myself personally, I almost wonder if it was more because, what am I trying to say? Because they were worried about that Zeratul. I feel like Zeratul, that might be one of his best maps, is there's so many areas to catch somebody out if they're rotating. And,
that's true, yeah.
Okay, so I have gotten a message from, Vince. They're not feeling like an interview right now, which is fair. I mean, it's an option, but it's not needed. So that is our cast, right? Thank you, everybody who showed up today. Thanks, Valkyrie Warrior, Amiev, Peldor, and Hokulele. You guys are heroes. Everyone who didn't chat in chat but was here, also thank you, and of course thank you to our luminous co-caster, Kalamansi.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad we finally got to do a cast. So I'd love to do it again. This was a lot of fun.
It was a blast, and hopefully next time we get like a 3-game series or just one that ends up being a little bit closer.
Yeah, the
We're not
close ones
asking
are
anyone to
always so much
throw,
more
but that was
fun. Yeah. A good game nonetheless, played well by both teams.
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for everyone. The VOD will be available on Twitch for 7 days. Otherwise, after tonight, it will be uploaded to my YouTube/Omster. But other than that, again, I've been trying to remember to do this as well. Thank you to all our lovely casters. It is September, so if you have a Prime sub, or if you don't, but you want to support the NGS scene, there's so many amazing casters in this game. Kala's one, Tokibi, Peldor, Raka, Eternally Blue, The Sound. So many awesome people. If you do feel like supporting them, this would be a great time to do it. If money is if cost is the reason you've hesitated, now is a great time to do it. Other than that, I hope you all have a great night. That is our cast for this evening. And go out there and enjoy yourself some Heroes of the Storm.
Good night.